back to the next podcast. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to dive straight into Guardians 3, and I can tell you this, James Gunn has done it. And yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, the Guardians trilogy is one of the best in the MCU. It provides laughs, backstory, a hefty amount of character development, and it taps into our emotions to give us some brilliant closure to the Guardians as a group. And it does have a few problems, which I will go into, but for the most of it, this film is insane. Like, it's an emotional rollercoaster, and it's quality from Disney, which we haven't seen recently. You know, we haven't seen much quality from Disney, even in The Mandalorian season 3, which is decent. And then there was Quantumania, which didn't do that good financially. But Guardians 3, I'm telling you right now, it's actually going to do really well, because this is such a well-crafted film. And it's James Gunn, you know. Like, he sod Disney, man. James Gunn is the guy. Like, I don't think Disney got involved at all with this project, but if they did, good job, Disney. As soon as the film starts rolling, you'll notice that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is fast-paced, and it doesn't waste any time showcasing the threats in the film and setting up the story. And Rocket's backstory is devastating and can really emotionally manipulate you and affect your viewing of the film, and it took up a fairly decent amount of the runtime, but it was necessary to the trajectory of the plot as a whole. And yeah, I understand why many people may have found it cruel to have this much animal cruelty in the film, but I don't think anyone should criticize the film because of this. And remember, without it, this film probably wouldn't have had as much of an impact on us as audience members. And yeah, talking about backstories, Rocket was truly the star of this film and brought an incredible performance and one of the best forms of an arc or character development in the entirety of the MCU. Now, talking about the villain of the film, the High Evolutionary, and yeah, he was menacing and a fitting villain for the Guardians to face this film. The power and ideologies of the villains showcased to us they were comic book accurate and correlated to Rocket's character arc and development throughout the film. Chukwudi Iwuji was brilliant, and the only downside with the villain was that we didn't get to see him use his powers to his true potential. I mean, thinking about it, it did remind me of Kang, but not in a bad way. And I actually think about what I mean by that, because I don't want to say much more because this is a non-spoiler review and I don't want to reveal anything, man. Just go see this film. Talking about the actual story and plot itself now, the perspective and route James Gunn and the writing team took when crafting this film was really unique and not something like you would see in any standardized superhero film. I've heard some people say that the plot was quite complex. Yeah, I have to disagree on that. Even if you're not the biggest fan of the Guardians, which is probably unlikely, man, who can't like the Guardians? You can still understand the plot points of the film and still be emotionally affected and influenced by it. Now, there are some plot holes, and again, it's not an incredible plot as a whole, but it's fitting and unique to the Guardians themselves, which is really good to see. Now, there are some moments in the film where there really is a play on your mind. You know, you think something's happened to a character and you think, you know, this is it for them, they're gone. But everything just goes smoothly and they aren't really affected, even though they were injured, let's say. This is a non-spoiler, I'm not going to say anything more than that. But in general, though, there are other events where stuff actually does happen to characters, and that stuff really does make you emotional. Character arcs were great, but Rocket's character arc was just incredible. I'll be honest, the other Guardians' development throughout the film did not match the level of Rocket's, and I do wish certain individual storylines were wrapped up a little bit better, and especially for those who were confirmed to not be returning, such as Dave Bautista as Drax and Zoe Saldana as Gamora. But as a group, things are put together really nicely at the end, which is good to see. Visuals were also really good, and I do think Marvel truly spent their money wisely on this project, which is nice. Taking everything into consideration, I'm going to give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 an 8.6 out of 10. Overall though, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a fitting emotional ride and a great way to wrap up the storyline of the Guardians as a whole. And I'll say this, it's easily the best MCU film after Endgame for me, excluding Spider-Man 3, because I don't think anything's going to top Spider-Man 3 for me, but this one is very close, I'll tell you that right now. Anyways, nevertheless, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more reviews, and let me know what you thought of Guardians 3 down below if you've seen it. Also, go subscribe to my Instagram, link in the description. I post reviews almost every other day on there, so go check that out. But yeah, thanks guys for watching and